Hey everybody, welcome back to the TTRL Tier 3 as we're here tonight for the British Grand Prix. It's round 8 of this 13 round season here for season 3. And we've got Mihai putting it on pole position there by just under a tenth of a second there ahead of Shane, so not much between him in qualifying. Shane's Williams teammate Richie Chapper down in P5 at the start of this race, doing the usual, starting on the hard tyres. We see it a lot, and we're seeing it once again here tonight from Richie Chapper. So Richie Chapper just one of two drivers putting the hard tyres on for the start of this race, Stevie Mack being the other one, and there is one other driver who's gone for the soft tyres. So Andrew Pipsmith here, a bit of a legend on my YouTube channel, it has to be said. He's been raced in the Motive League, the XL League, the OG League, Purple Sector, now obviously TTRL. I'm pretty sure I've seen him in Red Arrows, maybe not. This guy's been everywhere. But anyway, oh my goodness me, what on earth is going on there with HRV Thomas? Good grief. Well, he's back on the track now, but wow. Anyway, I'm lining up on the grid, getting ready to go racing here for the British Grand Prix here for Tier 3 of Talk Titans Racing League. As the lights are coming on at the head of the grid. And it is lights out and we're underway. And it looks as though it's a good start there from Mihai, leading us into turn 1 here for the first time, as Rich Shane there tucking in for the time being. We've got Zainu here making moves. Richie Chapper's down 2 places here at the start of the race, so it's been a bit of a disastrous start there for Richie Chapper, as Jordan Hilliard's lost out to Zainu as well. Berza there's moved ahead of Shane here up into second place, going through the loop, and up into second place goes Berza. Now Berza is right on the back of Mihai as well as they come down towards Brooklands. Shane looking to the inside as well, but none of them are close enough to make a move on each other. They're going into Brooklands as we've got Zainu there up the inside of Carl there, as now you've got Jordan Hilliard looking to sneak around the outside of Carl. Carl there about to lose 2 positions potentially on the exit of Luffield, and Jordan Hilliard going around the outside. Now is his teammate going to be smart here and give him the slipstream as they're going down towards Copse Corner? He is, and Jordan Hilliard's going to make the most of that and slots into P5 and says thank you very much to both his teammate and also to Carl there for giving him space. He runs a little bit wide there out of Copse Corner, and that's going to be a warning already for track limits. In the meantime, we've got Andrew Pitsmith up into 14th place on this opening lap on these soft tyres, so no surprise there seeing those soft tyres lighting up better than the mediums around it. But how long are they going to last before they start to fall off of the cliff here? That's going to be interesting to see. Stevie Mack on the hard tyres is already down 4 places here on this first lap. It's now being passed up the inside there by Ocean Blade, seeing a bit of debris there flying off of somebody. Stevie Mack's into the pits to get some damage fixed, presumably, so that hard tyre start has had absolutely no advantages to it whatsoever due to that early pit stop, and that is going to be a frustrating situation there for him, that is for sure. But Mihai leading as they're coming into Village for the second time in this race. There's Berza just behind, with Shane right behind them, as they seem to be under VSC at the moment, so I think there's been some kind of calamity which has triggered that. Stevie obviously was into the pits before that, but they seem to have just slowed down a bit out the front. Definitely under VSC, but Stevie is on his way out of the pits now with some fresh medium tyres, only 1 lap fresher than everybody else is, obviously. So there's the Ferrari of CT Sori itching to get on with this, as looking to the inside there going into Brooklands, but so far we're still waiting on the race director's green light here. We've got Ev the Legend missing a front wing. That's happened since the start of this lap, because I mean, there's no chance that he wouldn't have come into the pits to get that replaced, but nonetheless, the race is currently neutralised here at Silverstone for tonight, and hopefully we'll be getting back underway as soon as we possibly can here, because this little hold up seems totally unnecessary, to be perfectly honest with you. So here we come then, down the hangar straight, and looks like we're back underway. Here we go, racing is able to resume. Carl here is very close on the back of Jordan Hilliard as they're coming into Vale. Jordan almost tapping Zainu in the rear there, feeling the pressure obviously from behind, has gone on full attack on the car in front, as we see Jacko's got up into 16th place here ahead of Andrew X, who's now coming under pressure also from Luigi's Ven. Luigi Sven. As Luigi looking to the inside there into Abbey, but a little bit too far away there going into that corner. Maybe you're going to look for a lunge here into Village. He's going to go for it. Is that going to be job done? Getting it stopped under brakes there quite nicely, going side by side to the corner. And for the time being, it looks like Andrew X has held on to that one and maintained 17th place for the Mojo then. But in the meantime, it is Mihai and Berza battling out over the lead of the race. It's a very, very close pack here. You got everybody down to 15th place is within a second of the car in front. So obviously we haven't had too much racing. There hasn't been too much opportunity to spread the field out because we've had a lap and a half under VSC, and obviously we haven't had that much time out on the track. Oh my goodness me, it's Ocean Blade. Very wide there out of Cops Corner. That would have been, without a doubt, a warning there for track limits. And Andrew Pittsmith there will be seeing that and will be rubbing his hands together here, potentially looking to make another move here. It's been an electric opening few laps here from Andrew Pittsmith, and he's going to look to the outside now, down the hanger straight and up into 11th place he goes without any further ado, as HRV Thomas has been passed there by Jacko and Andrew X there. Ocean Blade, sorry, is battling out with Dave here as they're coming out of Stowe, and Ocean Blade into the pits here at the end of lap 3. So that's a pretty early pit stop there, and Ocean Blade is actually thrown in the towel. So we're down one driver here in this race, down to 19 cars. We obviously started with a full 20 on the grid, as Thomas here is into the pits. HRV Thomas into the pits here at the end of lap 3. Hello Nana, you alright?
Hi.
Night night.
Hi.
Night night. I'll come and see you after the race is finished, Nana. So there's Ev the Legend is out of the race as well. Oh my goodness. Ev the Legend is retired here on lap 3 as well. As we've got Mihai there leading, Burrs of Shane. There's Zainu and Jordan Hillier completing the top 5. As we've got Andrew Pittsmith there looking to the inside. We've got, I think, we've got a full safety car. What on earth for? Oh my goodness me. What possible reason? Oh dear, oh dear. There you go, then everybody, confirmation there. The safety car peeling in at the end of lap 6, so we should be getting back underway here for the British Grand Prix here at the TTRL Tier 3, as the drivers here coming into Stowe Corner. Same situation in the top 10. Mihai leading Berza, Shane, Zainu and Richie Chapa. They're the top 5. A few drivers are coming for fresh hard tyres. Jordan Hillier in 11th place leading the charge with Carl, Andrew Pittsmith, Luigi Sven, Invade, Mr. Riley, HRV Thomas and Stevie Mack. They're completing the classification as we're coming around the final corner here, club corner, to restart the race. Berza's kept right to the back of Mihai here on this restart. Shane has dropped off of these guys a little bit here through the first couple of corners, as we've got Zainu and Richie Chapa in hot pursuit there as they come into Village Corner here on this opening lap of the restart. Looking like nobody's close enough to make a lunge here into Village so far. They're all keeping it clean. It's good to see. Very tidy racing here from the TTRL drivers here tonight. But at the moment, Mihai still holding onto the lead as they come down to Brooklands here. On still what's going to be pretty cold tyres at this point. It will take him a few corners here to get these to get some confidence here in the brakes and in the turning into some of these traction zones, and obviously getting out of the corners nicely. It's going to take a little while to get that confidence, but at the moment Mihai has the lead here coming out of Cops Corner. I'll tell you what though, Berza has really stuck to him like glue over the course of this lap and could be a real factor here once the DRS is available. Obviously it won't be available until the Wellington Straight, which is probably about half a lap away from where we are now, as we're coming towards the end of this lap, and it's Wellington Straight is in the first sector of the next lap. But Berza nonetheless, if he can stay close here through this final part of the lap and the first part of the next lap, will have a great chance here of taking the lead of the British Grand Prix here as we're coming through into Club Corner, or through Vale and into Club Corner. And Berza's managed to stick to the task very nicely here as they're coming over the line to start lap 8 of the race. DRS will be enabled, and I'll tell you what, Berza is poised and ready to deliver a knockout blow here into Brooklands in a few corners time. Although he's just lost a little bit here through this part of the track. Through Aintree we go, and out through the loop. Might just be a little bit too far away, about 0.6 of a second as the DRS is opened up, getting that little bit closer. Is able to put the Aston under a bit more pressure here into Brooklands we go. They got 0.3 of a second, and he's just a little bit too far away at the moment, but he'll get another dose of DRS down the Hanger Straight in a few corners time, which should present another opportunity here. In the meantime, we've got Jordan Hillier attacking all over the back of Andrew X at the moment. Obviously this top 10 are all on the medium tyres, barring Richie Chapa, who's gone for a hard tyre start. But Jordan will be itching to get on with this, because obviously the tyre difference here, you know, fresher tyres, not faster necessarily, but then again at this point in the race you'd expect them to be pretty even at this moment. But through Maggots and Beckett's we go. Jordan waiting for an opportunity here to pounce. As back to the leaders here, Berza now looking to the outside of Mihai into Stowe Corner, and Mihai covers the inside line, but Berza's not deterred and gets a beautiful run there around the outside with better momentum, and Mihai's looking to try and come back at him down the inside into Vale. What a battle this is for the lead of the race here, as Mihai with better is going to get that better momentum going around the outside of Club Corner, keeps it within track limits and keeps on to P1. What a battle that was. Berza unable to make that move stick and has to settle for second place for the time being, but those two going side by side through that whole sequence. Jordan in the meantime did get ahead of Andrew X up into 10th place, and now can start trying to chase down these drivers up ahead. But phenomenal racing there from Mihai, was not giving up the lead very easily in that one, and in the end still leads this race for the time being. But Berza's not going to be lying down. That's going to be the taste, and that's going to be the dress rehearsal, I'm sure, for what Berza hopes will be an eventual succession or success of that mission. But in the meantime, we've got Andrew X looking down the inside of Carl. Carl's just overtaken Andrew into Brooklands, but looking like the Sauber driver's not done yet. His fellow Andrew in the other Sauber, his teammate, looking to also try and get involved in this battle if he can. Obviously his teammate's on the hard tyres, the more durable hard tyre, and obviously at this point in the stint you'd expect it to be a little bit quicker. But it's going to be exciting to see how this all pans out. Luigi Sven as well, right behind these guys, Mr. Riley, HRV Thomas, lots of drivers here in a big train of cars from basically 8th down to 18th place here. So a lot of drivers in with a shout here of some points tonight. as we've got a Red Bull now looking to the inside. That's Invade, making the move there on Luigi Sven up into 14th place. Luigi Sven though, oh, it's the Invade there, just cut out the curve on the inside of Stowe corner, and Luigi Sven there saying thank you very much indeed. I'll take that position straight back off you, mate. Mihai still leading the race. Berza in second place. Jordan Hilly has picked up another driver there on those hard tyres. He's now up into 9th place, continuing to make strong progress here through the field at the moment. Is Jordan Hilly, as I just have to make sure my mic's on. But Jordan Hilly is currently making pretty seamless progress here since the restart. But he should clear Dave pretty soon. But once it's cleared Dave, because obviously he's got the better tyres at this point, but he's got a bit of a gap to the top 7. The top 7 are all within DRS of each other at the moment, so that'll be an interesting one if Jordan can close up on that group on the more preferable tyres at this point. The only driver on the hard tyres in that top 7 is Richie Chapper. No surprise really, that one, is it? But Andrew Pittsmith nonetheless has got ahead of his teammate up into 12th place as they're going through Copse Corner. As the McLaren there ever so wide. Luigi Sven there getting all over the place. We've got a few penalties also being handed out. Jayco has got a penalty. Also Stevie Mack picking up a penalty as well. So the stewards here not messing about here at Silverstone tonight. As it looks like Jordan's just a bit too far back here on Dave going into Stowe corner. Shane has... oh, Berza's into the pits. So Berza coming in for quite an early stop here by the looks of it. So getting the medium tyres off. I wonder if that's damage related, because obviously the safety car would have been a perfect time to be coming into the pits. But Berza coming in on lap 10 of the race, about a couple of laps after a safety car's come in, which doesn't really seem to make too much sense. Although I suppose we kind of are in the pit window. Maybe it is that sort of time. Who knows? But anyway, Shane's still keeping Mihai pretty close at the moment. Is now taken over that baton. Is now the one to try and put the pressure on the race leader at the moment. As we got that's Invade there making a move there. Has got ahead of Andrew X. Mr. Roy now looking to try and feast on these scraps, potentially going through Luffield. I think he might have made a contact there with DeSalvo as they were going through the corner. Mr. Roy now has got a fantastic run here coming through Woodcote, and it's going to make the move easily down the old pit straight up into 13th place, and that's job done there for the Haas car. Now Luigi Sven looking to also try and knock the Salvo while he's down. And I think he's going to make that move there into Maggots, and he has done excellent. Pardon me, I've got really bad hiccups tonight. Luigi Sven there making a move up into 14th place, and that was brilliantly done there from him. We've got Andrew Pittsmith there moving ahead of Invade up into 10th place, now into the points paying positions. Here is Andrew Pittsmith, has been doing a pretty good job here on the hard tyres over the last few laps. We've got now Shane and Zainu in the pits, so is Dave. So a few of the medium runners now deciding to come in for their first scheduled pit stop as the race. Jayco is also in. Who else is coming in? We've got Andrew X into the pits as well. So plenty of drivers here coming in to get those medium tyres off. So that just leaves Mihai, CT Sori and Salates, the only drivers now who are staying out on the track on the medium tyres that they started on. How far are they going to go into this race? Richie Chapper is only a second and a half off of the race leader Mihai, having started in P5 on the hard tyres. Didn't set the world alight in qualifying, but for sure has had incredibly consistent pace over the course of this Grand Prix so far. And Richie Chapper very much in the fight here for the race victory, it has to be said. Cannot rule this man out of any race win here in the TTRL Tier 3, not even if he starts in P5, not even if he looks like he's not quite on the trailblazing pace that he usually is. As we see Mihai now into the pits here at the end of lap 11, so that now is going to release Richie Chapper into the lead. In fact no, it's lap 12, so we're on to lap 13 now. Now Salates I think is staying out, so Salates is doing at least another lap here on the medium tyres, which is quite an audacious move, I have to say. So Salates is now going to do 13 laps. He's also got a train of cars here behind him. It's Jordan Hillier and Carl waiting in the wings here. So these two are going to be itching to get on with this. Obviously Salates needs to come in and put a set of hard tyres on, which I'm sure we'll get to the end from here. Burrs is just on the fast lap of the race from P11. He's currently 8 seconds behind the next driver, although he's got a huge tyre delta in his favour on all of those guys. Night night, Nana. Night night. So here they come in through Luffield here on lap 13 of this British Grand Prix. And we've still got Carl trying to pressure the back of Jordan Hillier. Both of these guys trying to get ahead of the car of Salates, who obviously still has to pit, but Jordan Hillier holding that inside there. Carl's going to go for a run down towards Magnus and Beckett's. Not really in a position to do much about that at the moment. They'll both have DRS down the hanger straight. I reckon they might be able to both overtake the Ferrari here if they get a good run. Here we go then. It's going to be a slingshot manoeuvre. I'll tell you what, Carl could get them. No, doesn't look like he'll be able to. In fact, Jordan Hillier's struggling to get Salates. Salates has got great straight line speed here. Look at this. That thing's flying along, and I'll tell you what, Salates might not be able to come into the pits here, and Jordan misread that situation, and unfortunately has got caught out there. Although saying that, he does manage to stay ahead of Carl. So, well, that was close there. That was very close. But, yeah, that could have been an absolute chaotic situation there. But he gets away with that one. Jordan Hillier there in second place. As we see Salates there into the pits here at the end of lap 13, so he'll be on fresh tyres. He'll obviously lost a bit of time there with the obviously, well, when you stay out a bit longer you lose a little bit of time, but Carl there's moved back ahead of Jordan up into P2. They're going into Brooklands. They've got Andrew Pitts about a second behind him at the moment. Now the drivers who are on fresher tyres are a long way away. Berza and Shane, Mihai, Zainu, Dave, all of these guys, CT Sori, Salates, Jaco, Andrew X, they're all on much fresher tyres, but all of these guys are a long way behind, and it's going to be a little while until they catch up, if they can even catch up indeed. But it's going to be an exciting game of cat and mouse here between the drivers who pitted early and the drivers who have pitted much later on here in this race, because a lot of them pitted under the first safety car, so obviously they won't have to do too many racing laps in this one by the time we get to the end. One driver who can't go to the end of the race is Richie Chapper. He'll have to put the medium tyres on because he's only used the hard so far. But when he does, it's up to him. He's going to do at least 15 laps on these hard tyres. 11 laps on the mediums with lower fuel loads should certainly be feasible here for Richie Chapper. I would have thought it'd be coming in at the end of this lap. Or maybe he'll want to go long and have a bit of a tyre delta towards the end, because we know how quickly the mediums wear out. And what he doesn't want is for his mediums to be worse than the other guy's hards at the end of the race. He wants to ensure he can have that delta all the way to the flag. So for that reason he might stay out as long as he possibly can here. See Thomas here coming out of the pits and back out onto the circuit here in P18 in this race. Richie Chapper's got the gap about 7 seconds to Carl. Carl's definitely closing in. Mihai there's got ahead of Shane up into 10th place. Andrew's got ahead of Jaco up into 16th. We see Luigi Sven's got ahead of Mr. Riley here up into P6. Stevie Mac there not too far behind there, running in P8. We've got Mihai and Shane here still fighting out over 10th, 11th places. We can see Jordan Hillier into the pits here at the end of lap 15. So Jordan's getting those hard tyres off. So surprising here, Jordan's going for an extra stop here. I think most of the pack could be one stopping here. Richie Chapper's stayed out for another lap, which is incredible. So it can be 16 laps on one set of tyres here. He's not losing much time as well. He's only losing, well, less than a second a lap, which is not much when you consider everything. Although I suppose actually when you think about it, no, because Carl and Andrew and Invade, Luigi Sven and Mr. Ryder, they all put their tyres on quite early on actually, to be fair. And obviously under safety car they'll have to do less racing laps than they otherwise would have. But you know what? Actually, you wouldn't expect them to gain that much on Richie. If I think about it, yeah, if I analyse what I just said there, it's probably not actually accurate, because they shouldn't really be gaining that much if they're only 4 lap pressure. And obviously during the safety car Richie was able to save his tyres, so really we're only thinking maybe a 2 or 3 lap delta realistically. And that's why Richie's able to have the pace he is, and that's why when he puts the mediums on he won't be too far behind, and he should have a lot more pace in these closing laps of the race. Richie Chapper staying out for the time being. Is he going to push it to a point where he can put the soft tyres on? I wonder if Richie's maybe aiming for that now. Could be the case. Andrew and Invade both in the pits. So is Mr. Riley. So lots of guys here, 2 stopping by the looks of it. It's the guys who came in under the first safety car that are coming in and 2 stopping. I think the rest of them are 1 stopping, including the race leader, who's still yet to do his 1 stop of the race. So Andrew, Invade and Luigi Sven there putting fresh tyres on. Andrew's gone for the hards, Andrew's for the medium, Invade for the hards, and Luigi Sven there sticking the medium tyre on. Stevie Mack there with a 3-second time penalty. As Richie still leading the race by about 7 seconds here over Carl at the moment. Berza is running in P4 right on the back of Mr. Riley and absolutely breezes past there down the old pit straight up into 3rd place. That is job done. And now Shane looking to try and attack on Mihai as well. Shane's now got a 3-second penalty for track limits there going through that middle sector. That's going to be bugging him a little bit here. Now, did Mihai have DRS coming through the detection point there on Mr. Roddy? I don't think he did, so that's going to give Shane a great opportunity here to make the move for track position. This could be a battle for the win later on in the race. Here we go then, down the inside, and Shane trying to make that move. Mihai keeping it around the outside through Stowe Corner and maintaining P5 for the time being, but these guys could be fighting it out over the win here, because they both were P1 and 2 earlier on in the first stint. Obviously Richie Chapper's now into the pits to put a fresh set of medium tyres on. We reckon Carl will have to pit again, because 13 laps on those hard tyres so far, that would be a long stint by the end of the race. Berza with slightly more worn out tyres than these two, Mihai and Shane, albeit he's 2 seconds ahead of them on the track at the moment. But this is a crucial battle here right now for P3 and 4. Shane has got a penalty, we mustn't forget about that, but this is going to be a fascinating final few laps of the race here at Silverstone. Can't wait to see how this one pans out. This is going to be absolutely brilliant. So once again, Shane here on the back of Mihai as they come down the hanger straight. Bit too far back, getting good closing speed, not in range to make anything happen there as they go into Stowe. So he'll have to hold position for the time being. Carl, the current race leader here, coming out onto the start finish straight. We've got Richie there, who's made the move on CT Sorry now on those fresh medium tyres. Richie's he's quite a way off the lead actually, to be fair. About 16 or 17 seconds off the lead at the moment, so he's got a lot of ground to make up with 8 laps left in this race. I don't know if that's going to be possible here for Richie Chapper. That was a heck of a task. I don't think that's going to be possible. That's been proven wrong for the spectacle, but I can't imagine he's going to be able to overhaul that. Mr. Riley's picked up a 3-second penalty for track limits. Carl still out the front leading the race on these what's on their 15th lap at the moment, these hard tyres. Put them on at the start of, well, it would have been lap 5. He put them on end of lap 4. And they've got themselves to lap 19 here, 7 laps from the end of the race. But Carl will surely have to get a new set of boots on before we get to the end. Those are going to be, well, they're not going to have any pace for one, but they might not even get to the end in one piece. I think that's the biggest issue. But Carl's sticking with it for the time being. Gap 2 seconds to Berza, his teammate. Now he could play an absolute peach here for his teammate. If he lets his teammate go and then holds up the guys behind, he could really help out massively here. As Richie's now got ahead of Dave up into 6th place. That is job done there for Richie as he continues his fight back through the field here in this final stint, with only 7 laps left to go, as he left himself too much to do in these closing stages. He's probably about 3 or 4 seconds quicker than the race leader on that last lap, but I reckon he was probably only about 1 or 2 seconds quicker than the driver currently in 2nd place, Berza. His gap to him is about 12 seconds. So I just don't think it's going to be possible, especially the fact he's got to make overtakes as well in the meantime. But he's going to push as hard as he can, and I know that for a fact. If we know anything about Richie Chapper, he'll give it everything in these closing stages. But Carl's still leading the race by just over a second at the moment as they come through Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel once again. So Berza now within a second, but crucially was out of that second range when they went through the DRS detection point a few moments ago. Shane has got up the inside there of Mihai, but just a little bit too far away there going through Stowe Corner. Had a little look there, thought about it, it wasn't quite on. As Zainu there's been passed by Richie Chapper. Up into P5 goes Richie. In the background there's Dave being passed by CT Sori round the outside into Stowe, and the Ferrari driver there's done brilliantly there to make that move. CT Sori on only 1 lap older, fresher tyres there than Dave, so these two pretty evenly matched. But CT Sori's teammate Salates is waiting in the wings to pounce here on the back of the Aston potentially. Salates here looking hungry for a P8 here for sure. Maybe more than that, if he can get onto the back of his teammate. As Berza's now made the move for the lead ahead of his teammate Carl, who could play a peach of a defence here with the likes of Mihai and Shane now closing up onto the back of them. There's now 4 cars all in a DRS train as they're coming out of Luffield here on lap 21 of this 26 lap British Grand Prix here tonight. There's Berza, there's Carl, Mihai and Shane here, the top 4 drivers, separated by about 2 seconds at the moment, 2.5 seconds. Shane's just dropped back a bit actually over the course of this lap. Seems to have struggled a bit over the last lap or so. Here they are then. So Berza's already gapped Carl by a second. Carl's now under pressure from Mihai. He's not going to be able to do anything, I don't think. Oh, he's got DRS. Wow, okay. So that's played out very nicely here for Berza, who's got a chance to maybe just clear off into the distance a little bit over this first sector, and that's all because of the fact that Carl had DRS on his teammate, which allowed him to keep position there ahead of Mihai. If he didn't have DRS, I think he probably would have lost that position, but Mihai's going to have to wait an extra few corners, and that's just going to cost him probably about a second or so, you would think, because Carl is probably losing about 3 seconds a lap, so probably about a second per sector. Mihai here is being held up something rotten right now by Berza's teammate, and Berza is just riding off into the sunset in the distance there. You can see becoming smaller and smaller in the visors of these drivers behind him. But here comes Mihai now, looking to the inside into Brooklands. Now that is going to be job done there, and that was a move which I'm sure Mihai would have loved to have done half a lap ago, but at least he's done it now. And here on the exit of Luffield is going to get a beautiful exit there and easily clear the V-Carb, who's now going to be coming under heavy pressure from the Williams of Shane and his teammate Richie Chapper, currently 7 seconds behind on the road, about 11 seconds off for the lead, but Richie's not making the inroads he needs to win this race. It looks like it's going to be P5 probably at best here for Richie Chapper tonight, which is where he started in all fairness, so that's by no means a disappointment. but Shane unable to make any inroads there on Carl due to the fact that Carl's got DRS on Mihai going down the hanger straight, and also seems to have pretty good straight line speed. But Carl, I think, by the looks of it, going to the end of the race here on these hard tyres, by the time we get to the end, that'll be 22 laps on one set of tyres. Obviously, 2 of that was under safety car, so it'll be 20 racing laps. It's still a pretty serious distance to be carrying one set of tyres, even if it is the hard tyre. Shane a little bit too far back on Carl going into Village. Carl misses the apex ever so slightly. That could allow Shane to get a bit of confidence here coming out of Aintree and through the loop here with a bit of DRS. And this time around, Carl will not have DRS to defend himself. So here we go. The Williams here getting closer. Maybe a little bit far back. He's too far for a lunge. Although Carl there went a bit deep into the corner. Shano's going to go for a cutback here through Luffield, thinking of the forward planning game here. Can he get a good run here through the old pit straight down towards Copse Corner? It's not an easy corner to overtake. We know that. We've seen that from 2021. And Shane's probably going to have to wait for the hanger straight here. Sit behind for Maggots and Beckett's, get the run out of Chapel and blast past down towards Stowe Corner. That's got to be Shane's game plan now. He needs to try and get past soon because he's got to pull out a 3-second gap if he wants to finish on the podium. He's also got Richie Chapper only 3.5 seconds behind him as well. His teammate could end up finishing ahead of him here. Rich Chapper could feasibly get on the podium here tonight, I reckon, because he's got those better tyres, although Shane on 11 lap hard tyres, I don't know whether Richie's got that pace to do that. Might have to be P4, but P4 is certainly on the cards here for Richie Chapper. But it's going to be an interesting final 3 laps here. But Shane finally in clean air now, can now put his foot down and see what he can do in his closing laps of the race. So Burrs has now got a 2-second gap over Mihai and is extending that gap over these last few laps, seemingly a bit more confident on these hard tyres despite having 2 lap older tyres than his rival for this win. Obviously Mihai was on pole for this Grand Prix here tonight, and these two have swapped the lead over the course of the race, have been pretty close throughout the entirety. Even after they made their pit stops when they were in the mid-pack, they were still running within a second of each other. But over these last few laps it seems like either Mihai's made a mistake or Burrs has just upped the tempo a little bit. But the gap 1.8 here with just over 2 laps left to go. It's not over yet. One little mistake for Burzer and Mihai's going to be within striking distance, as Richie's now moved ahead of Carl on these worn out hard tyres, and is almost within 3 seconds of Shane, so it could be on. The podium could be on for Richie. It is 100% attainable at this point. You can see there the Williams drivers. There's Shane, there's Richie Chapman now going into your shot into Stowe Corner, so it's absolutely on here for Richie to get into P3. As we've got Zainu here fighting out with TTRL, who's looking to the inside into Stowe, a little bit too far away, as we see the other two, Dave and Salates there closing up onto the back of each other. Andrew Bits was there running in P10 just ahead of Jordan Hillier, as CT Sori's lost out there to Dave back up into P7, and now Salates looking to try and get on the back of his teammate if he can. Down the start finish straight we go. CT Sori there pulls off to the inside and allows his teammate up into P8. So he's saying, go on, you have a crack at them. Clearly hasn't got much confidence in his pace, or feels that Salate's got a better chance of getting ahead of the likes of Zainu and Dave, who are just up ahead. You can see the two drivers just in the distance there ahead of him. But there's Zainu leading this pack of cars here. A 7-car train here all the way down to P12. Fighting out over some good points here tonight. But Zainu trying to make a break for it here on this penultimate lap of the race. Jordan Hillier's got a 3-second penalty there for track limits, so that's going to drop him behind Invade for sure. So Dave's now going to have DRS here on the back of Zainu down towards Stowe. A little bit too far away here down towards the corner. It's going to, well, he'd have thought about it, but thinking about it's not going to actually get it done. But nonetheless, Salates is now looking to try and Put some pressure here on Dave, who was focused on making a move. Now he's got to defend into Vale there. Selects a bit of contact there on the inside of Dave, but nothing major doing there as they come out of club corner to start the final lap of the race. What can Dave do here? On the back of Zainu, he's the one who's got the best chance because Zainu hasn't got DRS and anybody in front of him. Well, they're saying that Carl could be vulnerable here to this pack of cars on his extremely worn out hard tyres. Has he got a puncture? Has he got a left front puncture? He has. He has got a left front puncture, and that's surely going to be him done. So Carl is absolutely plummeting down the leaderboard here. My goodness me, those tyres have finally said enough. As Jordan's moved out of CT, sorry, but we can see also Carl here absolutely plummeting behind these drivers at the moment, and his left front tyre said, nope, sorry, you pushed me too far, I can't do it anymore. But in the meantime, we've got the race. Mihai is leading. When on earth did this happen? Well, my goodness me. Oh, I think I don't know what's going on. Berza has Berza got a puncture? This is unbelievable. Mihai is about to win a British Grand Prix here for the Talk Titans Racing League Tier 3 as he comes out of the final corner, and what was looking like the race that had been settled is now settled in Mihai's favour. Mihai's the winner with Richie Chapa in second on the penalties. Berza completes the podium ahead of Shane, who had a penalty which dropped him off of the podium. Zainu's going to come around to take P5 here in the end ahead of Dave. Salate's in 7th with Antripitz in 8th. There's CT Sori and Invade completing the top 10. Jordan over in 11th. Mr. Riley's going to cross the line in 12th. Oh, it's close there for 13th as we see them crossing over the line together there. Carl is classified 12th with Luigi Sven 13th. Stevie Mack 14th. Mr. Riley drops to P15 on the penalties. And HRV Thomas is going to come round, presumably with a, I don't know if there's an issue there, but HRV Thomas here is going to limp around to finish this race in 16th place. But what on earth happened with Berza there? Because Berza was leading the race and then all of a sudden absolutely plummeted on the last lap there. I think, well, you can see the graining on the left front tyre. I think they were all suffering from the same thing, but wow, I mean, that is a real head scratcher there. But nonetheless, Mihai is the winner for tonight's British Grand Prix here at the TTRL Tier 3. And what a race that was. That was a dramatic one. But thanks to TTRL for having me once again. Really appreciate it. And hopefully you guys enjoyed. And we'll see you for the next one.